Welcome to Truth and Nothing But, Episode 36, American Indian True Historic Description. This episode includes Kuramil Aham. The link to the full video is in the description. Like and subscribe there. Peace.
I'm in the book here from the Smithsonian Institution Bureau of American Ethnology, Bulletin 73. It says The Early History of the Creek Indians and Their Neighbors by John R. Swanson. All right. And it says here on page 43, it says the Spaniards have visited several regions of that vast country. And they're like, I believe, in the area of South Carolina, North Carolina, where they first arrived in the 1500s. You caught my past videos. They're called Arambi, Guaycaya, Cuajate, Tansaca, and Pajor. Do you know the name? Do you ever heard of these names, these tribes? The color of the inhabitants is what? Dark brown. The color of the inhabitants is dark brown. Dark brown. None of them have any system of writing, but they preserve traditions of great antiquity in rhymes and chants. In rhymes and chants? So we got inhabitants who are dark brown, who be rhyming and chanting. Rhyming, right? Rhyming, freestyling, chanting, rhymes, dark brown. Put it together. Dancing and physical exercises are held in honor, and they are passionately fond of ball games. They're very fond of ball games. Who does this sound like? Let's go again. Inhabitants are dark brown, right? They pass their time in rhymes and chants, and they're very fond of ball games, in which they exhibit the greatest skill. They're very good at it too. Alright, they're very good at it. They're fond of ball games and they're very good at it. They're dark brown. Their complexion is dark brown and they be rhyming. Who they talking about? So-called Negro? Alright, so we got this book. It says here, a voyage of discovery into the South Sea and Bering Straits for the purpose of exploring a northeast passage undertaken in the years 1815-1818 at the expense of His Highness the Chancellor of the Empire, Count Romanov, in the ship Rurik, under the command of the Lieutenant in the Russian Imperial Navy, Otto von Kotzebue. Alright, this is volume 1, 1821. And it says here, the coast of California is inhabited by so many tribes, that there are frequently in the mission Indians of more than 10 different races, each which has its own language. All right. As we were leaving the mission, we were surprised by two groups of Indians, which were also composed of different nations. They were different. They came in military array, that is, quite naked, and painted with gay colors. The head of the most were adorned with feathers and other finery. Some of them, however, had their long, disordered hair covered with down, and their faces daubed in the most frightful manner. There is nothing remarkable in their war dance, and I only regretted that I did not understand the words of their song. The physiognomy of these Indians is ugly, stupid, and savage. Otherwise they are well formed, tolerably tall, and of a dark brown complexion. Dark brown complexion. The women are short and very ugly. They have much of the Negro in their countenance. Again, they have much of the Negro. They have much of the Negro, so-called Negro. You see what I'm reading to you? You see what is written in this book in 1821. They're talking about the Indians of California. They're telling you this is different people. There's different tribes here. There's different people here. There's light-skinned tribes and there's people with dark brown complexion. And the women of these men are much of the Negro in their countenance, half much of the Negro in their countenance. We're in this book, the Smithsonian Institute Bureau of American Ethnology, Bulletin 143. It says here, Handbook of South American Indians. Julian H. Stewart, Editor, Volume 6, Physical Anthropology, Linguistics, and Cultural Geography of South American Indians. It says here, the Colorado, also Chibchan, have a reddish skin color. This is to some extent accentuated by their custom of painting their faces and bodies a bright red with a color obtained by grinding the seeds of the achiote plant. Hagen, 1939, states that these Indians have generally a lighter skin color than other tribes of the upper Amazon region. The tribes living in the present country of Peru are dark brown. Again, the tribes living in the present country of Peru are dark brown, according to Eberhardt's 1910 observations. The Ayamara, living in the Andean highlands of Peru have been studied by Macmillan 1927, who speaks of them as having a swarthy brown to coppery skin or even a dark olive color. Again, swarthy brown to coppery, swarthy black, dark, swarthy brown to coppery skin or even a dark olive color. Again, the Peruvians, the Ayamara, Inca, swarthy brown to coppery skin or even a dark olive color, some being lighter with a yellowish hue, We're in this book, The Indian Journals, 1859-62, by Lewis Henry Morgan and Leslie A. White. All right, and it says, the Osagis, the Kas, and Quapas speak the same language with slight dialectical differences. The Osagis and the Kas are both very dark-skinned. Again, the Osagis and the Kas are both very dark-skinned. All right, very dark-skinned, very dark skinned. All right, so we got this book. All right, now we're in this book. It's called The Aborigines of Canada Under the British Crown, with a glance at their customs, characteristics, and history by William Clint. Read before the Society, 23rd of March, 1878. All right, I'm going to go to this part of the book, and it says, the face was broad and flat, with cheekbones, more rounded and arched than in the Allied type, without having the visage expanded to the same breadth. The forehead was generally low and narrow, the eyes deep, small, and of a dark or light hazel color, the nose rather diminutive but prominent, with wide nostrils, prominent nose, wide nostrils, the mouth large and lips thick, large mouth and thick lips, the expression stern and fierce. The stature through variable and different parts of the continent was in the country we now inhabit generally above the middle size in the men, though the women were usually below that standard, a fact which may probably be ascribed to the drudgery they were obliged to undergo. The color of the skin was red or copper-colored, a red or copper-colored, not red, right? Red man, they really mean copper-colored, all right? The book Archives of Aboriginal Knowledge, containing all the original papers laid before Congress respecting the history, antiquities, language, ethnology, pictography, rites, superstitions, and mythology of the Indian tribes of the United States by Henry Schoolcraft. So it says here that Chippewyans are sober, timorous, and vagrant, with a selfish disposition which has sometimes created suspicions of their integrity. Their stature has nothing remarkable in it, but though they are seldom corpulent, they are sometimes robust. Their complexion is swarthy. What does swarthy mean? Right, we learned this already. That's dark skin, black skin, Negro skin, swarthy. Their features coarse and their hair lank, but not always of a dingy black, nor have they universally the piercing eye which generally animates the Indian countenance. All right, we're reading from this book called United States Exploring Expedition during the years 1838, 1839, 1840, 1841, 1842, under the command of Charles Wilkes, USN, Ethnography and Philology. Again, Ethnography and Philology by Horatio Hale. I'm going to go to this part of the book. It says, the Californian Division. The natives of this class are chiefly distinguished by their dark color. Again, we're talking about California, right? Right. Again, the natives of this class are chiefly distinguished by their dark color. Those of northern or upper California are a shade browner than the Oregon Indians, while some tribes in the peninsula are said to be nearly black. Again, some tribes near the peninsula, we're talking about American Indians, are said to be nearly black, so-called black. In other respects, they have the physiognomy of their race, broad faces, a low forehead, and lank coarse hair. They are the lowest in the intellect of all the North American tribes, approaching to the stupidity of the Australians. All right, so they're being racist, right here with their comments. They're dull and indolent, phlegmatic, timid, and of a gentle, submissive temper. The experiment, which was successfully tried, of collecting them like a herd of cattle into a large enclosures called missions, and there setting them to work, would probably never have been undertaken with the Indians of Oregon, and if undertaken, would assuredly have failed. All right, you see what they did? They put ancestors in missions, all right, and that was basically another indentured servitude. They had them under there in these missions, all right. Again, they were dark color. We're in the same book, all right. Again, Northwestern America, page 199, as you can see here, says the Nez Perces and the Walla Wallas and the Watlapu, Cayuse and Molele, the Shoshone, Snakes, Bonaks, and the Lutnani and the Shastis, the Palaiks, and probably other tribes towards the south and east. They approach both in appearance and in character the Indians east of the Rocky Mountains, though still inferior to them in many respects. They are of the middle height, slender, with long faces and bold features, thin lips, wide cheekbones, smooth skins, and the usual tawny complexion of the American tribe.